Hi everyone, I want to introduce you into this video because I don't know how to describe this video. In the end, it's a journal video. But that was not what I intended to make once I started this video. I knew I wanted to do a video around my birthday. It ended up me yapping about how crazy your 20s can be. I don't know if crazy is the right word, but you will find out what I mean by that in my yapping part of the video. But in essence, this video is about feeling lost, discovering yourself, experimenting with who you are as a person in your 20s, but whatever age you are, I think we are always trying to figure out who we are. So in the end of the video, I give you some journal prompts for self-discovery. So if you want purely those journal prompts, then you can hop onto that part of the video. But if you also like to hear my experiences and just me yapping about this topic, then you can also watch the first part of the video. So without anything else to say, let's hop into the video. So as you probably can tell, I'm just out of the shower because we are getting ready. I'm going to get a drink with a friend in a few hours. It's not that I need that much time to get ready, but I also want my sister to do my nail. And I also want to do some journaling, some reflection, just an easygoing day. And also I want to brag because I ran the 6K this morning, 6.4 to be more precise. I'm so proud of myself. We need to get ready. And by the way, I don't know how it's even possible because I have more than enough clothes. Side note, I think a lot of my clothes are outgrowing me mentally, my style. And I have to find my way around it because I don't want to throw everything out or sell it on Vinted. But what I wanted to say is that it's aggravating how long it takes me to put on an outfit that I like. Because it shouldn't really matter that much because the friend that I'm going out with to get a drink, I know her since one day after she was born. We have seen each other in our 2016 ugly outfits. We have made matching skirts that were so ugly. As you could see by the title, I don't know how I want to name this video exactly, but it's something about not knowing anything in your 20s, blah, 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 blah. Because, what the hell? When I was 16, I felt so mature, which I actually was not. I thought I knew so much about myself and also so much about the world, and that made me feel very mature, but that also proved that I wasn't mature at all. I don't know how the famous quote goes, but is it something like the more you know, the less you know? Sounds very contradicting, but I think that's the quote. And it's true. Once I got older, especially last year, my 21st year on this world. Sounds so dramatic. What the hell? By the way, if you want to smell so great, really recommend this one. I've got so many compliments since I started wearing this. This wasn't the best idea because I cannot really multitask, but I still know what I wanted to say. Because last year, I think since I started college, which was when I was 17, I thought I really knew myself, my interests, what I stood for, stand for, the things that made me me. I really thought that I had a grip on them and a really clear vision on who I was as a person. And I think last year proved me so many times that I didn't know myself at all. Or I do know myself. I mean, if someone knows yourself the best, it's yourself actually. But I think last year I discovered that there were still so many layers of myself that I need to discover. And I think deep down I always knew that there was more to me that I didn't know yet. But what? There are like areas in my life that are changing and I have now a different vision on, which sometimes still blows my mind because I was so sure that I knew everything about this, or I was so sure that the way I saw this was really my way, you know, and now I don't really know anymore. But also I think that's the fun of growing up, and also that's the most terrifying thing because, you know, one day you think you know everything and the next day you realize you don't. And this can be with very small things, but it Also can be with your belief system. Maybe it's about your career. You thought you liked it, but then you realized you didn't. Maybe it's in your relationship area. And I don't know, those things are most of the time pretty big parts of our life, and that's just terrifying. So, what the hell? People weren't lying that your 20s can be pretty scary. By the way, putting on sunscreen because the sun is shining so bright. Not that it matters because I wear sunscreen every single day. But there are some lessons that I'm learning right now. I haven't really found joy in it, but I'm trying to really find joy in me growing as a person instead of feeling unsure, maybe terrified if that's the right word. But it's very soothing, the idea that I know that most of the people find themselves being lost in their 20s. Because, I don't know, but if we search feeling lost in your 20s on YouTube, you will probably find 1,000 videos. So it's very common, I guess. And I think that's a great thing. Isn't life for figuring out things? I don't really think that only your 20s are for figuring out. I would find it boring if my 20s and then that is a certain, I have become this person and that's the person that I want to or will be for the rest of my life. Which can be 50 years, 60 years, maybe longer. That's freaking long. So I hope this changing may continue, even though I find it terrifying. This is some sort of paradox actually. Like, we want to grow as a person. I want to grow as a person, but I also want a place to feel comfort and peace and safety. But you can't really grow in your comfort zone. You have to step out of your comfort zone for growth. Or at least that's how I see it. Do you hear me rambling right now? There's just so much to figure out and to learn. It's not like I'm going to give life lessons. This is just me rambling. But I think we have covered most of the things that are on my mind right now. Because if I want to ramble more, then this video will be only me getting ready in front of this mirror. We're 22, baby. It's just a day. But I do like birthdays. Especially those from people around me. I also like my own one. I think I just like excuses to celebrate and do fun stuff. Such as going out for a high tea, which I will do in an hour. But before I want to do that, it's time to reflect, because if there is something that I am doing so much, especially the last year, like I was telling you yesterday, is reflecting. Because we have to make some sense of this mind from time to time. Sense of everything that's happening around me. Today I want to do that by a solar return spread with some tarot cards, with some journal prompts. Exactly 20 days ago was my birthday. I remember filming these bits where I was quite philosophical. Have to put my whole mind into focus if I want to pronounce that word. Anyway, and I didn't really know what to do with it, so now we're here, we're turning it into a journal video. Because if we're feeling lost, what can we do to get a grip on our mind again, I guess? I don't know how to call it, or at least that's for me the solution. I've got 2 journals with me. The one you saw me making in the previous video, my brain dump journal, and then my actual journal, which is here. In my brain dump journal, I've written some, like I said, journal prompts. I've gathered these around the internet, but also some I thought of myself, and they're all about, I guess, growing up, to get to know yourself again, I guess, and also just discovering and experimenting with your life, I guess. So I want to read those. We can use them and have a little journaling session. There we go. In what areas of my life am I clinging to comfort over growth? Because I think we often tend to stay in the comfort zone. It's hard to grow in the comfort zone. So maybe challenging yourself in, okay, where am I in some sort of way denying growth? And that's, if you want comfort, that's okay too. That's also a choice. But just reflecting up on it, then what version of myself am I currently outgrowing? Because I think as humans, we are constantly developing, growing, getting new interests, changing. From time to time, I think it's a great thing to reflect upon the person you were, the person you're becoming, what does serve you, what doesn't serve you anymore. Then we have, if fear wasn't a factor, what would I choose differently today? I think secretly, a lot of people, including me, tend to not choose things or choose things because they're led on by fear or they fear a certain outcome. What am I afraid will happen if I fully let go of what no longer fits? So, confronting those doom scenarios you've created in your mind. By doing so, robbing them of their power, I guess. Then also, what lesson keeps repeating in different forms and what is it trying to teach me? And this is a bit more spiritual, this journal prompt, but I believe that there are sometimes lessons we need to learn and that the universe is sending us time and time again challenges that we have to face in order to learn this lesson. But even though you're not spiritual and don't believe in this, I do think that there are lessons you keep stumbling upon. You have to learn over and over again in order to really learn what it teaches you. What part of me still feels unseen, even by myself? Because sometimes a version of ourselves gets created. People see us as a certain person. We think people see us a certain way, and then we feel the need to act according to this person that is created in our heads. So this is about who am I truly and what am I not accepting. Do you understand what I mean? I thought it was a bit cryptic how I explained that one. Okay, next one. What small choice can I make today that aligns with my future self? Very straightforward. Just thinking about the future. Where do we want to go? What direction we want to move in? And then the last one. You can see me squinting my eyes, right? Sorry. Must be. It's so bright. It's not sunny, just bright. Okay. Next one. What am I resisting and what would it feel like to surrender instead? So often we feel change coming our way, but we are afraid or we just aren't ready to change yet. So maybe what am I resisting? What form of change am I resisting? And what would it feel like if I surrender? So a bit of reflecting, maybe opening the pathway to surrender to this change. Getting noisy out here. Now onto the big one. I'm actually writing down my answers. I won't share my answers because I think this is very personal. I don't think it has any value of you seeing me journal for a few snippets. I think the point of this video was sharing my experiences and also showing you how I'm trying to find direction by journaling or trying to make up my mind, getting a grip on the situation. It's sounding very dramatic now. That's not the case, but just how I work with this constant going with the flow of life and the constant changing of us as humans. Wow, so philosophical in this video. It's kind of funny actually. Okay, so I won't start journaling right now, but I will start journaling, but you won't see it. And then just reflecting, writing down, Okay, hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, you know the drill. And then I hope I see you in my next video. Bye.